In today's MAHA Voices episode, we speak with Todd, a man from North Carolina who once worked in the pharmaceutical and biotech industry. His career took a dramatic turn when the evident corruption became too much for him to reconcile his morals against. Todd now builds and designs furniture and is an incredible woodworker. Politically, his journey from Democrat to independent to Trump supporter is another fascinating look into how the party that once represented the people's interests has changed drastically. Much like his career change, what he saw in the Democratic Party motivated his convictions.
I am a furniture designer and builder. Before, I had been a molecular biologist and biochemist in the drug industry. I've leaned my whole life Democratic, almost always I've voted Democratic. I'm a conservationist, environmentalist. I studied biology. Democrats traditionally were the party that sided most with conservationists. A lot of people in my family are Republicans, but that didn't resonate with me. I volunteered for the Bernie Sanders campaign in 2020. Just before the pandemic started. And really, that was the beginning of my strong disillusionment with the Democratic Party. Well, I'd known about RFK before from Riverkeepers. I was just really astonished at the work that group did. I had read about them cleaning up rivers and also tackling big corporations that have a lot of money and have polluted waterways for years. And I'm sure they had to deal with a lot of lawmakers at the same time, and so not an easy task. And then the second time he popped up was saying that he was going to become a candidate for presidency. COVID for me changed a lot in the way I viewed the Democratic Party and governmental institutions, especially the three-letter acronym. I was really starting to try to connect the dots with all of these problems I had seen with the lockdowns and COVID, quote-unquote, vaccine. And so he was talking about the same thing. And then I thought, he's in trouble because he's telling the truth. And people don't want the truth out there. The powerful people don't want the truth. I was vehemently anti-Trump in 2016. Thought he could be possibly a dictator, even a warmonger, and that he was corrupt and a con man. So to come around from that to now, to 8 years later, he didn't start a war. And so just thinking, I've been gaslighted about this person, and instead of listening to what people say, maybe I should just look at what he's done. The thing that really stood out with me was after the 23rd, when RFK, he had talks with Trump, and that they had agreed that they were not going to try to change each other's beliefs, that they were allowed to criticize each other. They didn't have to be on talking points, and they didn't have to have a narrative, and someone didn't have to say something they didn't believe. They're actively trying to promote critical thinking, freedom of thought, independence, and it means sometimes, yes, there's arguments, disagreements, not a consensus, but that's how democracy really functions, I feel, at its best.